be a great show. So we'll dive into Medjay right now. So Stéphane, tell us about Medjay. Tell us about like the creation of this hero.
Absolutely. Really excited to bring you the Medjay hero, the Egyptian warrior. Basically, we know that the Outlanders have kind of opened up the world. The pirates opened up the seas. We've opened up the Lost Horizons. And now we have the opportunity to have fighters from all around the world.
That's great.
Enter For Honor. So this is awesome. Thank you to the Outlanders faction. This is super cool. So what are the Outlanders to us, basically? It gives us two major kind of opportunities. Heroes from any individual culture in the world. And then, of course, I mean, who's excited for Egypt? Everybody. So this is our first on our hit parade, basically.
Yeah, and they bring, I guess, with them different style of gameplay as well, unique stuff, right?
Absolutely. That's the other kind of like core feature, really, of the Outlanders is like what's like a unique gameplay opportunity for each. As long as you're locked.
And we have the props with us today. So the props that we use at mocap, we made it build on scale as well. So it's 8 feet long. I think you should like connect. And I know it's not yeah.
Oh, that was so much better than
almost
practice.
as fast as Medjay. There
Very
you
nice.
go. So there's a magnet in it, but yeah. So yeah, that's great. I mean, it's fun to have a weapon and a play style really different for this hero.
Absolutely. I mean, like you might know, like Highlander gets knocked out of its second form all the time. This character gets to sit in it, locked while they want. So it's really cool.
I can wait to dive more into gameplay later. But let's talk about the history of the character and the archetype. Like, who is Medjay?
Yeah, so working on the Medjay was a huge challenge, a very fun challenge, but hugely challenging because there are two fighting styles. And so this created twice the work for all departments. When it came time to craft the archetype backstory, we knew that the weapon was definitely the starting point. And so our backstory for the hero goes that they developed this new dual-wielding fighting style in order to repel invaders. Because they are a lost civilization of Egypt. Unfortunately, in For Honor universe, Egypt's been destroyed in the Cataclysm. And so all these invaders want to come in now and pillage the remnants of their culture. And so the Medjay take their fan axe, split it in two. They have two twin axes, which makes them a bit speedier in fights. They can instantly reattach it, ideally for group fights, because that has a bit more of a wider reach. And so this makes them incredibly elite, deadly warriors. But what's also really remarkable about the Medjay is that they're noble warriors driven by a code. They're really not going to kill unless absolutely necessary to protect the innocent or, once again, to safeguard the secrets of their culture.
I love that the narrative is connected to the gameplay, to the weapon, to the fighting style. So everything is connected, and the weapon as well. So I think it's great. Let's dive into the character itself, Jan. So what can you tell us about Neferka?
Yeah, so Neferka is our main Medjay. He's the last descendant of the pharaohs, and he's the leader of the Medjay as a group. Now, as Andre said, in the world of For Honor, Egypt prospered a long time ago, but it was destroyed during the Cataclysm. So now it's left nothing but desert sands and fallen ruins and all that. So the Medjay are like the last defenders of their culture. They keep that history alive through them, and Neferka is the leader of that whole endeavor, basically. And now, as we know, part of those relics, there is the scarab bracelet. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because it was the Star of TU1.
Yes.
It was a relic that Bolthorn, the Viking, stole from the temple. Now, here's the thing about Bolthorn and Neferka is that when Bolthorn ventured in the desert, he crossed paths with Neferka. Neferka was on to him.
Also, they met for real.
They met for real. Neferka saw him go into the temple, and he thought he could befriend him, maybe guide him, try to protect their treasures, and like be a nice guy at the same time, But unfortunately, Bolthorn had ideas of his own. He betrayed Neferka's trust, stole the bracelet, and took it back home.
And brought the curse with him as well.
He brought the curse with him as well.
I feel like it's a sad friendship story.
It's a super sad friendship story. It's actually inspired by Andre and I's
Oh,
friendship.
really?
Yeah.
That's our origin story.
That's how you met, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. But we saw the fight in the trailer as well.
Exactly. So Neferka is like, Bolthorn, you kind of deserve this for doing what you did, but also like too many people are going to die, and being the noble hero that he is, he travels to Heathmore.
Save us all.
Yeah, and then this big fight between the two takes place.
Oh my God, I love it. So the bringing the ancient Egypt into the world of Eatmore, what was it for? Because it's a real place. So what was it for, historically speaking, Andre? What can you tell us about it?
There's so much history for us to draw on. So as I go on about that, just stop me if it gets a bit boring. But yeah, when we did our research, we realized...
boring.
Okay. The original meaning for Medjay was, it meant someone who came from the land of Medjay in Nubia, which is a region along the Nile River. But over time, this meaning changes. It comes to mean desert ranger, because the Medjay become the elite police force in Egypt. And they're the guards, and they really contribute to making Egypt the superpower of its day. And so the pharaohs tasked them with guarding the most valuable places in Egypt, temples, tombs, the borders. And so they're incredibly well-respected elite warriors. And this peaks around the 18th dynasty. Unfortunately, by the 20th dynasty, their names disappear from the records. And we don't really know what happens to them, which is a shame. But their names will forever live on as elite warriors.
It's crazy how many like research you guys had to do to create this hero and to make it like feel real into our world. So going into art right now, Andrew, Anastasia. So Andrew, what can you tell us about the creation of this hero, artistically speaking? Sorry.
Thank you. The Medjay Neferka is a quite special character in For Honor history, because we started with the Knight, Viking, and Samurai, three specific cultures as a faction, and then a year after we introduced the Wulin as a different culture. After that, we were maintaining within these four different cultures, and then went on for about four. And then fifth year, we introduced the Outlander, hinting that there's some other cultures existing outside. In that fact, Medjay is a quite special and meaningful character, because he gives us a possibility. He shows the possibility that there's other culture, other warriors that is existing from other country, which makes our map was a flat, but now it's not. It's a round.
So the world is not flat.
Believe it or not, it is a round.
Sorry, what?
The world is not. The world is round.
What?
Well,
Breaking
round
news.
is For Honor. But not only that, I mean, basically, while we were kind of researching on this culture, it was quite exciting. It's a new culture, Egypt, and Medjay brought us new style, new patterns, new silhouette, everything was quite new. So the team, it kind of brought us a fresh wind to the For Honor team.
Yeah.
But as excited as it was for reality, it was a tough. There was a lot of challenges that we had to do, because it's a new culture that we had to adopt it into For Honor world. So it's not something that current or ancient Egypt just to bring it to the For Honor. We have to retranslate it. So that was a quite good challenge, but then it was quite exciting. But enough of that. Let's take a look at the concept art.
Yes, we do have concept. It's been a while. It's been a while since we had concept.
It's been 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Oh
So,
my God.
Here's the concept art of Medjay. This is default set. He's a confident character. He's a strong, masculine, and he's a massive guy. So you don't want to mess with him when he's passing by.
Don't.
But in characteristic and personality, we wanted to make him the caring, kind, warm, and responsible. So protecting his people and the innocent people. So that's something that we wanted to add it up. And also, he's an elite warrior. At the same time, he's a lawyer bloodline. So his armor has a sophisticated decorations and engravings and patterns were applied onto the characters. Structure-wise, we made sure to start with the Egyptian regular traditional outfits. But then on top of that, we left enough room for concept artists to research to make them invite into the For Honor and then retranslate it so he fits into our game. But
I love that.
fashion was amazing. The research in the Egypt was quite exciting, but that's not the only thing that was exciting. The other one that was catching our eyes was a mythology.
Yes.
So let's take a look at the set too.
I mean,
That's so great.
It's amazing.
So second set was something that we were kind of focusing more on the mythology, and then this is where we are taking the inspiration from the Egyptian god figurative the mask and the head, and there's Anubis inspirations and Horus and the soul bag
Osiris
and
as
Osiris
well,
as
yeah.
well. I mean, once you equip it, we're gonna take a look at all the variations later, but then it's going to stand out pretty
Yeah.
well in the battlefield. But
We're gonna see a lot of those in the
course,
battlefield,
of
I'm pretty
course.
sure.
I mean, you see that coming for you. You just run away.
Yeah.
But during the Warriors Night, we usually don't show the back part of it. So here's the turntable that we
Ooh.
prepare for you. So it's a sneak peek of how it's going to look on the back side of
That
it.
looks so great.
The whole
love
concept
that.
team did an amazing job,
Yeah.
a character team, but at the same time, Chengdu team, it's really exceptional job.
Wow.
Look at that badass.
I love the color. I love the pop of color. A little bit like the. I love it.
Yeah, I
the
mean, the-
texture, the gold. I don't know. It's.
It's not the only armor variations that's going to be standing out.
Mhm.
This character has something very special, as we introduced at the beginning with Steph, the weapon.
The weapon. Yes, Anastasia, tell us more about the weapon and the design of the weapon because I see that it's pretty intricate. So, what can you tell us about the weapon?
Yeah, sure. As it was mentioned before, now we have this two-sided fan axe that can be turned into two axes, which is kind of cool, but it was pretty challenging for our team to make it look great and also believable, that it makes sense and you can actually have it in real life, like we did. So, yeah. So the tricky part was this handles that have to be connected with the special lock, and our team did a great job in designing this special
Yeah,
lock
it's really great.
for that. So here we can see the evolution of this weapon. We're starting with original Medjay weapon that was inherited by his ancestors, and while we moving, we see that the shape is getting more and more complicated. We see more interesting patterns and different like designs that was inspired by Egyptian mythology creatures, and the epic weapons. Here, the theme of the epic weapons is Egyptian gods, and also some history moments that happened in Medjay's history.
Oh.
Yes, and now you can see my favorite one with the
cat
black
one?
cat. Yes.
Oh, I love it. The character is great. The conception of this character, the weapon. But you spoke about armor variation, Andrew. Can we see them?
Of course. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Well, as Steph mentioned, this time we have two sets and the three variations each, and three variations will have an alternate version of each variation. So basically, there's a one with the hat, and there's the other one without the hat. Many variations, so player will be able to play and customize in different ways because the one and the other has a different options on it. It's a fantastic fashion that they have it, and of course, as we go through, we'll be able to see all these gods figurine of the mask throughout the presentation.
I really love it. Oh my god. This one is great. It's funny, Anastasia, because you mentioned the intricate part, and that was part of the first conversation we had, because we had to make it like happen fast for gameplay purposes, but also make sense. So this one has magnets. I don't know if they have magnet. And maybe not.
It's another one of the Medjay secrets. How
Okay.
it works. Yeah.
Okay, so you brought magnet into it more. So we used that, but at first we used a twist, but at mocap it just didn't work out really well. So that was a bit weird to handle as well. So wow. Oh, that's the the which god is that? Is
Anubis.
wow.
Another thing that's fun too about the weapons, something that we're doing this time around is that on the hero page website, on the website, we'll have a list of all the weapon names and as well as the lore description, so people will get to know why they're called what they're called. It gives a bit of context to the weapons and give them a bit of history as well.
I love more lore attached to a weapon because I feel like when you choose it, it's not only visual, it's like the backstory. So you're like more into it because you choose the weapon for this reason. So do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, my favorite one is we call it the Night Claws. and it's basically the weapon that was wielded by this sort of like Black Ops team of Medjay that the pharaohs would send to execute specific targets, stuff like that.
Oh, I love it. So, guys, we're going to go into gameplay. It's happening really soon. So, thank you so much for coming, for joining us for the live stream. Don't forget, the hero will be available July 28th for an exclusivity period for $8. But after that, you can buy it for 15,000 steel after 2 weeks. So, thank you so much, guys.
Thank